Welcome to Mlc TV News. I am Fatima Yakub. The major headlines. The Nigeria Air Force commences investigation into the reported killing of civilians in Yobe State. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 3 national commissioners of Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Federal government to end Twitter ban soon. The main stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 3 national commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). They include Dr. Aso-Villa, representing the Northeast Zone, Professor Sani Adam, representing the North Central Zone, and Professor Abdullahi Abu, representing the Northwest Zone. The swearing-in took place on Wednesday just before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting, which held at the conference room of the First Lady's office at the State House. Vice President Yemi Osibanjo and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, were among those physically in attendance. Also present were the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, as well as the Minister for Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu. Others include Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, and Interior, Rauf Arabisola, the Head of Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemiesan, and other ministers attended the meeting virtually from their various offices in Abuja. Nigeria's government has said it expects to end its ban on Twitter in a few more days, raising hope among users eager to return to the social media platform 3 months after the suspension took effect. The ban, announced in June, has hurt Nigerian businesses and drawn backlash among social media users and human rights activists for its damaging effect on freedom of expression and the ease of doing business in Africa's most populous nation. Information Minister Lai Mohammed told a post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday the government was aware of the anxiety the ban had created among Nigerians. If the operation has been suspended for about 100 days now, I can tell you that we are actually talking about just a few more days now, Mohammed said, without giving a time frame. When pressed further, Mohammed said authorities and Twitter officials had to dot the I's and cross the T's before reaching the final agreement. The chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, was rushed out of the presidential villa Abuja on Thursday after he nearly collapsed at the program. Bawa was given his goodwill message at the National Identity Day celebration when he suddenly became uncomfortable. He was speaking about a man in the commission arrested in Ibadan, Oyo State, with 116 SIM cards when the incident happened. According to Daily Trust, he was later assisted to his seat by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, and other senior officials at the event. The head, Media and Publicity, Wilson Wajerin, in a press statement, has confirmed that the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, is hale and healthy. He said he has since received medical attention and is due back at his desk. The Nigerian Air Force said it has commenced investigation into the reported killing of civilians by a military jet in Yobe State. An Air Force jet reportedly opened fire on civilians accidentally while searching for Boko Haram terrorists in Yobe. The Air Force, in a statement signed by the Air Force Commodore Edward Gapquet, NAV spokesman, said the incident will be thoroughly looked into. The statement read, following intelligence on Boko Haram/ISWAP movement along the Kamadogo-Yobe River line, an aircraft from the air component of Operation Hadinkai was detailed to respond to the suspected terrorist activities in the area along Nigeria-Niger border at about 0600 hours on 15 September 2021. The aircraft, while operating south of Kanama, observed suspicious movement consistent with Boko Haram terrorist behavior. Whenever a jet aircraft is overhead, accordingly, the pilot fired some probing shots. It is important to state that the area is well known for continuous Boko Haram/ISWAP activities. Unfortunately, reports reaching Nigerian Air Force NAF headquarters allege that some civilians were erroneously killed, while others were injured. Initial release denying the involvement of NAF aircraft was based on the first report available to the air component, which was subsequently forwarded to NAF headquarters, that civilians were bombed as the aircraft detailed for the mission was not carrying bombs. Therefore, a board of inquiry has been set up to thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident. The Nigerian Air Force has received a report on the NAF Beechcraft 350 crash that claimed the lives of 11 military officers, including a 7th Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, on May 31, 2021 from the Accident Investigation Bureau after about 3 months of painstaking joint investigation. The Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer of AIB, Engineer Akin Olatero, FNSE, today 15 September 2021, submitted an interim report on the sad incident to the Chief of Air Staff, CAS Air Marshal Mao, at his office, NAF Headquarters, Abuja. The submitted report is organized in 3 sections, namely, the information obtained in the course of the investigation, analysis of data collected in view of the board's term of reference, and the conclusion, which covers the initial findings and immediate recommendations. AIB submits report on crash that killed ex-Army Chief Ibrahim Atahiru. It should be noted that at this interim stage, a total of 27 initial findings and 8 immediate safety recommendations were made for the convening authority as well as other aviation-related agencies for immediate implementation. It is expected that the final report will contain the flight data recorded, read out the review operators and service providers' standard operating procedures as well as other detailed analysis. Speaking during the presentation of the report, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladaya commended the collaboration between NAF and the AIB, adding that it would help to promote transparency. Few days after unknown gunmen struck, killing soldiers and setting free about 240 inmates at the prison facility in Kaba, Kogi State, 2 poultry farmers and another man have been kidnapped in the same community. 2 of the abductees are one Olorunpomi Damilola, a staff of College of Education Technical Kaba, and Pastor Mayawa Otito Laye. Both of them are said to be partnering in the running of a poultry farm, while the identity of the third abductee was not yet known as at the time of filing this report. It was gathered that the gun-wielding men shot sporadically to scare away onlookers as they seized their victims at the back of Christ Apostolic Church, Egbeda, Kaba. A stakeholder who wished to remain anonymous pointed out that the need to engage the services of Indigenous Security Squad to help in securing the community, but lamented the threat of mobilization. He averted that other neighboring communities in open land have taken to these precautionary measures to forestall such insecurities of lives and property, reiterating the need to do same in the entire Kaba land. Adding that many men of shady characters have infiltrated surrounding forest. Yomi Obalori opined that the entire Ipawopa, a suburb of Kaba, is stylishly under the control of non-indigenous, and there is therefore need for everyone to be circumspect. A 25-year-old Rashida Hussein is suspected to be an informant and supplier of petrol to bandits in the forest has been arrested by the police in Katsina State. The spokesman of the Command Superintendent of Police, Gambo Isa, while parading the suspect at the command headquarters, said she was arrested with 6 gallons of petrol concealed in a sack and the handbag hidden under her hijab. The police spokesman said the suspect was nabbed along Kufaguda Jibia Road within the metropolis and became more suspicious when she could not give a definite address where she came from. According to Isa, the suspect said she is a resident of Dadara, a village in Jibia local government area. Later claimed she is from Gombe State, as well as from Hijri, a village in Niger Republic. The police also said the act contravened the containment order banning sales of petrol in jerrycans. Also read, Katsina police arrest a 3-year-old ex-convict for allegedly stealing government vehicle. It also said it would charge her for aiding and abating banditry, more so that the suspect's husband is presently in the forest. The arrest, according to Isa, is in furtherance to the implementation and enforcement of the Security Containment Order signed by Governor Aminu Masari over the rising case of banditry in the state. Speaking over her arrest, the suspect confessed to have come from Hijri in Niger Republic, denying that the petrol is for bandits in the forest, saying they were meant for grinding machines. She further denied that her husband is a bandit in the forest, but in Ghana, seeking greener pasture. Isa therefore said the suspect will be charged to court at the end of investigation to serve as deterrent to others. The University of Jos Alumni Association and stakeholders in the solid mineral sector of Kogi State has held Distinguished Alumni Lecture Series in honor of the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Edward Onoja. The lecture, which is organized in conjunction with the Geology Department University, is aimed at creating awareness on the potentials of mining in Kogi State and its potentials as the main business for the state and its neighbors if well harnessed.
The University of Jos Alumni Association held a public lecture and conversation in honor of Kogi State Deputy Governor Edward Onoja on the prospects and challenges of mining in the state. The Deputy Governor Edward Onoja thanked the organizers for the honor given him and restated the commitment of the current Kogi State government to utilize the resources nature has deposited in the state for the benefit of its citizens. The guest lecturer, a professor of geology and chair professor of basinal studies, and the Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida University Lapai, Professor Nuhu George Obaje said, Governor Yaya Bello has demonstrated that by giving the solid mineral sector the recognition it deserves, by making sure the state has a ministry set aside for it, for the first since its creation, deserve an accolade. The Vice Chancellor of the Federal University, Lokoja, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, who was represented at the occasion, applauded the Deputy Governor for his leadership and academic brilliance and pleaded with the people of the state to assist the relatively new Geology Department in the institution to help the state become greater by discovering its resources buried under the earth. The State Commissioner for Solid Minerals and Natural Resources, Engineer Abubakar Bashir Mohammed, has described solid minerals as the most reliable alternative to the dwindling oil fortunes in Nigeria, as the nation cannot afford to sit and watch its economy base dwindle.
As such, he said, I should make a passionate appeal to the corporate organizations that are here present to adopt our Department of Geology as their baby. Because if you seek to develop mining and geology-related enterprises in Kogi State, the go-to institution, the go-to department is the Department of Geology, Federal University, Lokoja. The Vice Chancellor said I should tell you and assure you that that department is highly staffed with highly professional scholars who have made their marks in their respective areas of specialization.
The future of Kogi State, which is mineral resources. And we pray that the government will listen to the guest speaker and attempt to implement his decisions, his recommendations, because we need to move Kogi State forward.
The Commissioner said the State Ministry of Solid Minerals is committed to overseeing the rapid development of the abundance of Kogi State through the abundant resources at its disposal.
We should expect more revenue boost, more job opportunity for our teeming youth because of the innovation we are bringing. We are trying to see that we harness in totality the solid minerals available in Kogi State.
The Deputy Governor, Edward Onoja, appreciated the team of Jos alumni. He took time to advise the youth, especially the students, to cultivate character, capacity, and integrity as ingredients for greatness, while also advising them to network and to be each other's friends for a better future.
The award is the honor done to me by the alumni of my alma mater, the University of Jos, where I graduated with as from the Department of Geology and Mining nearly 24 years ago. And today in the Federal University of Lokoja, Department of Geology, they have honored me with this lecture delivered by the erudite Professor Nuhu Obaje.
He noted his passion to give back to society through impacting the young and promised to take time out as a personal commitment to be a guest lecturer someday at the Federal University Lokoja and the Prince Abubakar University Ayingba. Ify Thompson reporting for Mlc TV.
The All Progressives Congress APC media team of FGN-UB Project Inspection has commended Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State for his achievements in basic education infrastructure development across the 21 local government areas of the state. The team leader, Dr. Tom Ohikere, gave the commendation during a courtesy visit to the state Deputy Governor Edward Onoja in Lokoja. Ohikere, who is also the publisher of APC News Online and a former Kogi State Commissioner for Information, said the theme was on a fact-finding mission to ascertain the level of progress in the area of infrastructure investment in basic education in the various APC-controlled states.
It is true, they say, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest, and education is a passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. That is why the present administration of Yaya Bello has placed priority to universal basic education to build a better Kogi state. The APC coordinator of the online media, Tom Ohikere, who visited the state, said the All Progressive Congress has moved to visit states across Nigeria to ascertain how APC governors are performing in the education sector. Ohikere said Kogi is doing well.
Then Kogi is producing now the best primary school in the whole north. They took 14 prizes, Benue took 3. Kano took 1 out of 17 prizes. Plateau 1. Kogi 14. You don't need to be told. It is evidential that the state is performing well on education, on basic education.
Chairman of the Universal Basic Education Kogi State read out some interventions made by Governor Yaya Bello in the past 6 years.
We constructed 32 blocks of 2 classrooms. Construction of 20 blocks of computer laboratory. So for Lokoja local government had one in St. Mary's. Now when we had another ICT to be centered here, that they will open the place, you will see what we have there on ground. Then we have renovated 2,279 blocks of classrooms, another 11,000 set of plastic chairs and tables, procurement of 220 knots of computer tables for these computer labs.
Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello, who commended the team for their painstaking outing, says the state government is making plans to increase its education budget from 20% in 2022.
Nothing can be built that will be sustainable into the future without an education foundation. Because like they say, education is the bedrock of every form of sustainable development. My people, they say, perish for lack of knowledge. And if you educate the people and they are knowledgeable, you have actually sustained a developed future. It is for this reason that His Excellency from the get-go made education #1 in his thematic areas, followed closely by health.
The Commissioner for Education, Wemi Jones, said the ministry will commence clampdown of substandard schools.
The governor has given us a marching order to immediately commence the process of recruiting and retaining the best of hands. And at the ministry, we are already working towards ensuring that we attract capable hands, professionals, to come and take us to the next level. Because if you have the best of structures, the best of equipment, the best of facilities, without the human resources that will put those things to use, that will impart knowledge using those facilities that you have, it's just a mere waste of time.
Renovated public schools painted with blue and off-white colors are part of effort made by Governor Yaya Bello to raise the standard of schools and create conducive environment for learning across the 3 senatorial districts. Other schools with 12 classroom story building are built from scratch to finish, called GYB Modern School. Ify Thompson reporting for Mlc TV.
Buhari in the letter explained that project listed in 2018 to 2021 federal government borrowing plan are to be financed through sovereign loans from the World Bank, French Development Agency AFD, China Exim Bank, International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD, Credit Suisse Group and Standard Chartered China Export and Credit Sinosure, in total sum of $4.5 billion and 710 million naira euro and grants component of $125 million. He explained that the amount will be used to fund federal and state government projects cut across key sectors as infrastructure, health, agriculture and food security. energy, education and human capital development, and COVID-19 response effort. According to the President, the projects, which are spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, will bring about employment generation and poverty reduction, as well as protection of most vulnerable and very poor segment of the Nigerian society. You're still watching MLC TV. We'll be right back.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose MLC TV. Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV. With entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back from our foreign desk. According to Reuters, London, September 16th, oil held above $75 a barrel on Thursday within sight of a multi-week high hit a day earlier, supported by a big drop in U.S. crude inventories and surging European natural gas price. U.S. crude inventories fell by 6.4 million barrels last week, more than the 3.5 million barrel drop analysis expected, with offshore oil facilities still recovering from the impact of hurricane in the last month. Brent crude was down 15 cents or 0.2 cents at $75.31 a barrel by 1,128 GMT on Wednesday. Brent touched $76.13, its highest since July 30th. U.S. West Texas Intermediate slipped by 18 cents or 0.3 cents to $72.43. Either affected oil production capacity continues to recover in the U.S., and this is expected to reflect on price in coming days, said Restart Energy analyst Nishant Bhushan. But for now, the slow pace of that recovery, coupled with a stronger crude inventory stock draw, seems to be supporting prices. Brent has rallied 45% this year, supported by supply cuts by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and its allies, plus some recovery from last year's pandemic-related collapse in demand. Oil is also finding support from a surge in European power prices, which have soared because of factors including low gas inventory and lower than normal gas supply from Russia. The UK, US, and Australia have announced a historic security pact in the Asia-Pacific in what seems as an effort to counter China. It will let Australia build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time using technology provided by the US. The AUKUS Pact, the UK, US, and Australia have announced a historic security pact in the Asia-Pacific in what seems as an effort to counter China. Analysts said the AUKUS Pact, which will also cover AI and other technologies, is one of the country's biggest defense partnership in decades. China has condemned the agreement as extremely irresponsible. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said it seriously undermines regional peace and stability and intensifies the armed races. China's embassy in Washington accused the countries of a Cold War mentality and ideology prejudice. The pact also created a row with France, which has now lost a deal with Australia to build 12 submarines. It's really a stab in the back. France's Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian told France Info Radio the new partnership was announced in a joint virtual press conference meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison on Wednesday. And while China was not mentioned directly, the three leaders referred repeatedly to regional security concern, which they said had grown significantly. Speaking to the BBC, UK Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said China was embarking on one of the biggest military spends in history. It's growing its navy and air force at a huge rate. Obviously, it's engaged in some disputed areas, he said. Our partners in those regions want to be able to stand their own ground. In recent years, Beijing has been accused of rising tensions in disputed territories such as the South China Sea. Now, to our sports. Sebastian Vettel will continue as Aston Martin for his second season in 2022 alongside Canadian Lance Stroll. Vettel had a contractual option to take up to continue with the team, and the four-time champion has decided to race on in Formula One with them. The 34-year-old said he was really looking forward to a new style of car that will be introduced next year. Vettel said everything will be starting from a new beginning, so it will be a great opportunity for them. F1 has completely revised the regulations for next season, changing the way the aerodynamic work and making the rules more restrictive in an attempt to close off the field and make overtaking easier. Vettel said the look of the new generation of Formula One cars is very different, and the new technical regulations should give us cars that can race much more closely than recently. More exciting racing will be great for the drivers as well as for the fans. The four-time world champion joined Aston Martin after 6 seasons at Ferrari, the last 2 of which were difficult as he faced the challenge of new teammate Charles Leclerc, and then a final session which he started knowing the team had already signed his replacement. He has had an up-and-down 2021 season, taking a podium at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and a mix of both strong and unconvincing performances. Team owner Lawrence Stroll, father of Vettel's teammate, said earlier this week that he was delighted with Vettel. Stroll said both Lance and Sebastian have delivered some excellent performances. They have had more than their fair share of bad luck, but in 2022 they are delighted to be continuing with such an excellent blend of youthful talent and experienced expertise. The announcement of Aston Martin's lineup leaves only 3 seats on the 2022 grid yet to be confirmed. One at Alfa Romeo alongside new signing Valtteri Bottas, and the 2 at back market Haas. Reece James, Chelsea and England defender, boggled while he played in Champions League. Reece James, who was playing against Zenit St. Petersburg at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea began their Champions League title defense, appeals for help in identifying culprits of theft at his house in midweek. Reece James has revealed his Champions League winners medal and Euro 2020 runners-up medal were stolen during a burglary at his home while he played for Chelsea on Tuesday. The 21-year-old England wing-back said the possessions were taken from a safe, which also contained his Super Cup winners medal. He posted a number of CCTV clips of the burglary on Instagram, showing 4 suspects walking up the driveway of his home and shining torches into the property. Appealing for help to identify the culprits of the theft, James said these medals were won representing Chelsea and England, honors that can never be taken away from me, whether or not I have the physical medals to prove it. Nevertheless, I am appealing to all my Chelsea and England fans to help identify and turn in these low-life individuals who will never be able to rest easy as the evidence is mounting against them. James, who was making his 4th appearance of the new season in midweek, said the police are aware of the incident and that they are closing in on the perpetrators. He said nobody was present inside his house at the time of the burglary. On my entertainment desk, over to Matthias Ayodeji Peters.
Entertainment foreign news. Wendy Williams tests positive for breakthrough case of COVID-19. The 57-year-old American TV host has delayed the resumption of her show after being diagnosed with COVID-19. The Instagram account of the Wendy Williams show announced that the daytime host is battling a breakthrough case of COVID-19. Also from the statement, we gathered that to allow Wendy time to quarantine and fully recover and to ensure that the production abides by all COVID protocols, the 13th season of the show is expected back on Monday, October 4th. In Africa, Mercy Johnson has had a reason to be grateful as an influential person after she was recently recognized in Google Nigeria's most searched list. Her name popped up in advanced media as one of the 100 most influential women in Africa. Mercy made the list alongside other influential personalities such as Aisha Yesufu, Angelique Kidjo, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to name a few. The actress, who began her journey in mainstream Nollywood almost 2 decades ago, thanks her fans for the immense support they have given her so far. Matthias Ayodeji Peter reporting for MLC TV.
Thanks for watching MLC TV. For sponsorship and partnership, visit our social media pages: Facebook, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, Twitter, Mlc TV. I'm Fatima Yakub. Don't forget to subscribe and like our pages. Thanks.